Alright, welcome everyone. My name's Jeremy for Massively.com, taking a look at Runes of Magic. We're going to go look at Ystra Highlands here and dive into the Ystra Labyrinth. I tried adjusting my video game sounds a little bit, so anyone who's just coming into the chat room, if you're having trouble hearing my voice or the game or anything, just let me know. I'll see about adjusting it. Okay, instead of running back and forth here in the same spot, I'm gonna run and check my mail real quick because I have an add-on that lets me know when I have mail, and as you'll see here in a second, every time I go through a loading screen, it triggers that mail add-on again, and I get a voice and a little pop-up in the screen, and it can get annoying. And there's a few loading screens in the labyrinth, so I just want to avoid having that. The Ystra Labyrinth is, well, Ystra Highlands is a level 30 plus zone. Pretty much levels 30 through 40 it will carry you through. And the labyrinth is kind of a special area. Oh, there it goes. See, that's my... But yeah, it's an instanced zone. So, whoa, look at that, I'm rich. So when you go to the Highlands, you're not going to see it in the persistent world, just running around doing quests. You actually, when you get, I think as early as 30 or maybe 31 now, that you can go to an NPC that has a quest that introduces you to the area, but you'll always have to warp there. You're always having to teleport in because it's actually like a combination between a zone and an instance in a way. You'll see it here in a second. It's kind of neat. When you're in there, it's like you're inside a dungeon, and the mobs are harder, and there's quite a few elite mobs around, but it's also like a zone. You can run into other players that you haven't partied with, and there's NPCs and quests and daily quests to do. So it's one of the earlier areas. I think it was in the game right at launch, and they went through at least one major update with it, where they made some of the mobs slightly easier, and they rearranged where the mobs, the packs of mobs, they added a public encounter within the labyrinth, or one or two, or even maybe as many as 3 public encounters. Byla Ido here, next to the teleport in Hearth, is where you get the quest. The first quest to be introduced to the dungeon. She wants me to go into Royal's Refuge. That's actually the harder area. So I'm going to skip that for now and go to Reviver's Corridor. The labyrinth is actually 3 areas. It's highly instanced. There's lots of warps everywhere. And here we are. It's actually a really cool looking place. It's a lot like the Mystic Altar in Snowhorn. I mean, it has some pretty cool graphics. It's basically like an ancient ruin of the Minotaur's land or kingdom. This is the entrance hall. Each area, each of the 3 areas, Reviver's Corridor, Royal's Refuge, and the I'm forgetting the other one, Guards Corridor. All three have an entrance hall with NPC that can warp you around, so you can actually warp around throughout the area. There's usually front base camp, central base camp, and a rear base camp, and then the entrance hall to each area. Here's the map for Reviver's Corridor. I'm here, over here on the left. You can see my arrow. So you can see it's made up a lot like a dungeon. This yellow check mark is where I had completed a quest. I just didn't turn it in yet. But this is like either the front or rear base camp, and then these other question marks strewn about here are the other base camps. And as you can see, there's some daily quests in here. Ystra Labyrinth is overlooked a lot. It's sort of like Cecilia Steps is. When people first start the game and you reach level 10 and you get your free teleport to Logar or Cecilia Steps, a lot of people don't realize it, and there's no explanation what Cecilia Steps is or anything, yet it's this whole other gigantic zone as an alternate starting area. And that's sort of what the labyrinth is like. It's a whole nother area that's easily overlooked. But there's some good dailies in here that you can you get. It's comparable to some of the other dailies out in the persistent world, but you can get them done a lot quicker. I just got done writing an article on Lost Pages of Taboria. This last Monday's article, you can actually read it. I wrote a little bit about the labyrinth here. It's filled with the daily quests, but it's also filled with a bunch of oddities. Some of them are drops that you get that you need to use when you're really high level towards your elite weapons. So I'm just gonna try to rush through some of this. If we need to, I can just warp around to show you some of the other areas. But this guy here, hope I just killed him. These guys here are undeads. They were basically the skeletons. All of these guys in the story, they're basically adventurers who came in and never left. And whatever evil was in here has turned them into different undead creatures. And these guys are level 33. I think the skeletons are 31. Yeah. And they are a little bit, like I said, a little bit harder. So the first time you come here, it's probably best to use a party. I'm level 40, what am I, 47 or 48 now, so I'm a little bit over leveled for these areas. And that helps me to just kind of run through these quicker to show you around. You notice in the chat window there's a message that keeps scrolling by. It says the Reviver's Corridor, Funeral Procession Stage 1, Bells Ring. It says eliminate troublesome demons, 41 out of 70, 42 out of 70, 43 out of 70. This is the public encounter, or public event that's inside here. And what you have to do is you have to, for phase 1, you have to kill 70 of a certain kind of a mob. And seeing as how the number is going up higher, I'm guessing somebody else is in here doing that. So let's see if we can run ahead and catch up with them. And maybe we'll get lucky and get to see the one of the big bosses that come when you complete the phases of the event. This little horse up ahead is an elite, the Steed of Dread. So it's Knight level 39 and it's an elite, so if you're in your low 30s, watch out for those. These guys are kind of annoyance because they will cast fear on you. I'll go ahead and kill one of them. See, he stuns me and he can fear me. Oh, there I go. I got my heal off just in time. Ah, see what happens? I got feared and aggroed a horde of mobs. Alright, I'm gonna skip all those. See, here we have some wraiths, frozen shades. I got a huge train. This is probably a dumb idea. Wow. Yeah, that was a really stupid idea. Now this will be better this way. I'm just going to warp to the area. I foolishly thought I could just run through and get past their aggro range. Going the wrong way. Oh, see, here's some other people coming in. Probably just to do the quests and or farm. So what we'll do is we'll go to the rear base camp. If you're just coming into the chat room, my name's Jeremy. I'm taking a look at Runes of Magic, and we're inside the Ystra Labyrinth, which is in the Ystra Highlands. And it's a level 30 plus area. Let's see if we're in the right place. Okay, I think this is the right place. We'll give this guy a heal, and what level is he? 42. Okay, I can give him a couple buffs. So this is pretty much what Reviver's Corridor is like. You're gonna have these Steeds of Dread and all these. Here's actually, let me back up a second. The event has gone on to phase 2 now. So phase 2 is you have a limited time to collect to purify squirming corpses, and then the corpse supplier will come. So maybe we'll get a big fight with and you can see this zombie here. This is a squirming corpse that's attached to the corpse carrier. So you got to kill the corpse carrier. The squirming corpse falls over, and then you click on it, and he burns and then kind of disappears. And that's how you release. And nobody's doing that. That was the first one done. Maybe these guys aren't aware of how to do it. Now, last time I did this, I didn't complete it in the time frame, but it still summoned the corpse carrier or corpse supplier. So, and he's brutal. Let me see if these other guys will fight him. He's 42. Who else is in here? Is he the only other one? He's not even sticking around. Oh, I gotta change something real quick here. So it's a real good area if you can come in here. There's one even in the Reviver's Corridor, which is like levels 30 to 40 or 30 to 35. There's some good daily quests. Actually, I think right in here is a daily quest for, let's see, Shirley Higgins, I think. No, this is for Order of the Darksteel Emblems. Let's see if Giner Bighead has it. No. There's one in here that is real easy. It actually rewards you 20 tokens. Most daily quests only give you 10. But this one actually rewards you 20 tokens, and it's not all that difficult. All you need to do is, I believe, kill one of those Steeds of Dread. Now, it would be difficult to kill just one of those if you're only level 30, because it's a level 39 elite. But if you're over leveled like I am, it's a great way to farm tokens, and you're still getting some experience depending on how over leveled you are for the area. I'm kind of just milling about, not waiting for this clock to run out. We've got 60 seconds, and a corpse supplier, which is like a giant boss, is supposed to appear. I wanted to show him to you. See all these bodies laying around. The other people in here, I don't think realize how to do the event, or either they just don't care and don't want to do the event. There's no way I'll complete it in time. I'm kind of just... Oh, can't click on him. Uh-oh. He turned into an awakened corpse. Tokens are called Furious tokens. They're throughout the game from level 1 clear up to level cap. They're pretty important. You get them for completing daily quests. and you can use them to buy lots of different things in the game. You can use them to buy stuff from the cash shop. You can use them to play the mini games, which I'll be doing next week. I'll be live streaming some mini gameplay. Most mini games you can do once a day, and they cost 30 Furious tokens. You can buy arcane transmuter charges, which you need to use the arcane transmuter, which is charges right here. You can buy them charges with Furious tokens, so which is pretty important if you're modifying gear. So Furious tokens are pretty valuable. It's definitely you don't want to skip over daily quests for sure. Okay, now supposedly the corpse supplier is around here somewhere. Okay, this guy's annoying me. Let's see where I'm at. The one thing, let me see, I think I tried this already. Even though this is like a zone and not really a dungeon, you can't use a mount. It's one of the things that would be kind of nice to be able to use. I must be in the wrong area for the corpse supplier, so let's just skip ahead. He's basically a big baddie that would crush me if I go in alone anyways. But when you do that event, like right now it's saying there's 126 seconds remaining until he leaves. And then it'll just keep repeating. That's what all the public events do. Let's see, let's jump to... Okay, let's see, who's that? See, these guys are, no, they're pretty high level. They're close to, not too far off from me. Alright, let's jump to Guard's Corridor. The red things, oh, these things? Okay, these are just a part of my equipment. I'll show you real quick. This is, I have it in my back slot. This is my back slot, which it's different from having a cape. This is my cape slot. I guess it's called the back, but this is like, this is in Runes of Magic. This is the back slot. And in Runes of Magic you can get wings. So wings, this is where wings go. And these red things are actually red swords that I bought. Let me show you here, if you can see that any better. They're little swords that are just floating and hovering around me. That's just the way they look when I wear it. I thought it was pretty cool, and so I bought them. It's called Sword Soul, and when you buy them from the cash shop, you can buy them with rubies that you get from spending diamonds, and they don't have any stats on them, but you can put stats on them, and that's what I did here. As you can see, I put a lot of stats on here. This is actually one of my babies here. it's very, very pimped out, I guess you could say. But yeah, that's it. And there's other wing. There's all kinds of styles for the back slot. There's angel wings, butterfly wings. There's orange butterfly wings, blue butterfly wings, all kinds of different wings, just like a bunch of them. And that's what this is essentially. It's like my wing slot. Okay, we're in the entrance hall to Guards Corridor. There's an instance here off to the side to fight a boss. All bosses are instanced off the main path except the corpse supplier, but that's because he's part of an event. And there's other elites too that are just kind of like lounging around throughout the hallways. But this guy here is, as you'll see, he's a big baddie, and this is the general's room. Let's give you a look at him here up close. I don't want to get too close here, but you can see he's not very. He's pretty mean looking dude, and I'll go ahead and fight him just to show you what it looks like. But he's gonna really kill me bad, and he has this nasty little thing where you can't stay in one place and just tank him, because every once in a while, right in front of him, there he goes, see that tile of spikes, and it hurts a lot. So you have to keep moving, because if you stay still, that tile of spikes pops up. I was able to avoid it that time. He's most likely going to crush me, because now he's called in some of his minions. And more spikes are appearing. Oh shoot, that got me. But that's one of the boss fights in the labyrinth. There's another even harder boss at the end of Royal's Refuge, which is the highest level area. And it's kind of goofy. It's like, its name is Reichka or Reichika, and it's a giant, like, it's like a cross between a chicken and a snake, maybe, or some kind of reptile. But I can't get to it yet, unfortunately, sorry. This is, like, as you can see, these guys, at the very beginning of this is Guards Corridor, I'm sorry. At the very beginning of this area, everything's level 40. So you can see how the level progression is. When you first get in here, you might be a little confused at what to do. But just follow the quests. Just once you get in, you'll be in the entrance hall to Reviver's Corridor. You'll see the quests, grab them, bam, do them, and they'll lead you on to the next ones. And as you go, you'll learn a little bit more about unlocking some of these areas, and you'll be leveling. So I'm just going to leave these guys alone. I might have to finish this guy off though, but I want to jump ahead to Royals real quick here. Or yeah, Royals. I'm forgetting where I'm at. Oh, there's my tombstone. I died. Now, see that general with all the minions he calls? It'd be real helpful to have a mage like she is right there. She'd have some serious AoE. See, okay, here's some more wings. You want to see some wings? This person here has some wings on. And they're actually, this particular brand of wings is called, these are Silver Corona wings. And she, wow, she has hers modded even more than me. Can't even, let me see if we can, yeah, look at that. This is, mine's equipment's on the left and hers is on the right. Okay, enough gawking. Let's move on to the... So we'll go to Royal's Refuge Entrance Hall. Yeah, so when you come here, I guess a day in the life of a player doing the labyrinth is they're going to come in here at low level. They're going to come in here to do the quests, to level up, do the daily quests, and just to enjoy it and have fun. It's a lot of fun. Oh, I have a quest I can turn in. As you get a little higher level, you would come back to farm some easy daily quests to quickly earn Furious tokens and more experience points. And, well, I shouldn't have wasted that because I'm in experience debt. Oh well. And then even when you you'll be mid-level, maybe a little higher than mid-level, you'll start unlocking some of the boss rooms, like that guard, like the general's room I just showed you, and then even clear up into your really high levels. You'll probably, it's beneficial to keep coming back to the labyrinth throughout the whole game, throughout every level. You just keep coming back. There's more to do. Like when you're really high level, you can farm rune splinters, which are used to make your elite weapons and stuff. And actually, I'll show you in here. Now, as you can see in Royal's Refuge, it's kind of interesting because it's like just a bunch of NPCs for a long time. Like, just all these NPCs until you get up to a certain point where the mobs will start. I'm wondering if I can make it through here, because that is level 40. Oh, that's level 46. Oh, it has a big aggro range though. Yeah, I'm gonna retreat and warp to the other areas. There's even special anvils in here for the rune splinters. You can get unprocessed rune fragments, which break down into rune splinters by using the special anvils. You can't. They're not regular anvils. You can't find them anywhere else. You have to use them in here. Yeah, you can mod all your armor. That's one of the attractions to Runes of Magic. That's one of the things that makes it so popular. Gear can be very, very highly modded. Let me warp over to another base camp real quick, and then I'll show you my character, and I'll give you a little taste of modding. But I'm gonna do a full-blown modding episode later in another week. Here's my character sheet. Here's my equipment. These are my accessories: earrings, rings. Here's my hat, robe, lower legs, weapon, everything. My back, my cape, everything can be modified, and you can put a lot of you can put a lot of stats. You can do a lot of upgrading. I mean, a lot. You can, for instance, I'll take this as an example, my sword soul. As you can see at the top, my sword soul, next to it, it says +6. Down a couple lines down below, it says bound, item shop, not dropped on PK death. Then in blue, or in green, it says tier 4. You can raise your tier. Then below that, you can attach all these named, this starting with the orange and all the yellow words or numbers. Those are all modifications I put onto the sword soul. When I first got the sword soul, it didn't have those. You can put up to 6 stats onto a weapon. So I did all that. And there's many different stats, there's many different ranks of stats, there's many different tiers of runes. You can attach runes in a rune slot, as you can see at the very bottom, which is a little different than actually putting a stat on the weapon. So you can tier runes using the arcane transmuter I showed a little bit ago. Whoops. Right here is what they call the magic box, because it does a lot, and you can raise the tier of your weapons, your equipment, the tier of your runes. Then you have, like I said, you have refinement jewels that add a plus, and that all enhances the power of all your weapons. As you can see here, my legs, blue morning pants. All I have on here is one little thing compared to this. Now if I want to, later, if I wanted to, I could upgrade this as much as this is upgraded. I mean, there's no limit. Well, there is a limit. You can only have up to 6 stats on one piece of equipment. But there's so many different stats, and there's so many different stats. You have your option to raise the tier of your weapon or equipment, which also increases its base stats. Then you can add refinement jewels, then you can add rune slots, and then if that's not enough you can raise the durability, which if you raise the durability above the max durability, it adds a 20% bonus to base stats. So you can use things that are called golden repair hammers. Yes, it does get complicated, and it does have a bit of a learning curve. A lot of people are kind of confused by the arcane transmuter and how to use it properly, but you can also bypass all that stuff and just go to the auction house and find something that somebody else already upgraded and just save up your gold and then buy it off the auction house. So there's different ways. You don't have to go that route, but a lot of people do love it. It's one of the reasons a lot of people actually play the game. Okay, whoops, I'm being attacked now. This is Royal's Refuge. This guy's level 47, so these guys are getting a little bit harder. They're going to take me a little bit longer to down. I'm pretty tough. I'm a priest rogue, but I'm spec'd as a mage, so I am pretty tough for being a priest. I mean, that's the way I wanted it. I wanted sort of a battle maiden, I guess you could call it. I wanted to go back in here and see if one of the anvils were in here. Nope. I came up here because these giant minotaurs, they're the stealthy minotaur, the horned guardian, and the evil bone guardian. There's some others. These are the ancient warriors that kind of protect the ruins. Some of these guys will give you these rune fragments. Whoops. Oh, that's not good. So, for anyone else just now coming in late, this is Jeremy for Massively.com, taking a look at Runes of Magic, and I'm inside the Ystra Labyrinth here, which is in Ystra Highlands, level 30 to 40 zone, taking a look at what you can do inside and trying not to die. Yeah, Yeah, see, these guys are presenting a problem for me. No matter how well I spec as a mage, I'm still at heart, I'm a priest, and that's gonna... Okay, here's an unprocessed rune energy fragment. You can go to one of the special anvils next to mysterious old will or gray robles to make an unknown number of energy splinters. So let's do that real quick. I'm actually surprised I'm seeing so many other people in here today. Usually the labyrinth is not very populated because people either think they out-level it and there's no reason to come back, or people just miss it entirely. They don't see it because there's no clear signs. I'm gonna have to say... Whoops, you know what? I'm not the best multitasker here. Dimmed or Black Foss. Okay, it looks like this guy might not even be in the Royal's Refuge. So I'm gonna jump back. And as you can see, there's teleports everywhere. So it's highly instanced area. I mean, you can teleport to 3 or 4 different locations in each of the 3 main areas. So it really makes it convenient. Again, I wrote about this in my last article, my last Lost Pages of Taboria article that you can read from last Monday on massively.com. I wrote about how it really didn't feel like there were any content gates in this labyrinth, even though you have to progress at a certain pace, and you are gated, but it doesn't feel that way. Let's check guards corridor. So, I mean, because there's so much to do and you can easily warp around to multiple places, it just has a sense of freedom. I actually really love this area for the way it's laid out and the way it's designed. I think other games and Runes of Magic should do this in other areas coming out, because it just feels like a lot of fun. It feels like you have freedom. Wow, I can't find these guys. Hide cloth, Priscilla. Let's check revivers then. So it just feels really good all the way around. I mean, there's a nice selection of mobs, and the way they're laid out is interesting. And there's so many elites mixed in, and then you have the world event. It just really truly feels like a hybrid, a combination of an instance and a regular zone. And it's a lot. I think it's a lot of fun. Okay, let's see. 3rd time's the charm, maybe. Yeah, these guys aren't listed, I don't think. Let me check the world search real quick. Yeah, we're playing Chase a monkey here. This area also was a place that really like level capped people, players at the bleeding edge of the game that were at the highest level. They there's Mysterious Old Will. Follow. Oh, he's way up there. I think that's exactly where I was too, right next to it. Let me transport there real quick. Yeah, so this was a really well, not really good, it was a good alternate way for some players, high level players, to earn some gold. Oh shoot, it's way up there. They would come in here and because when this area first came out, it was when the game first came out, the level cap for the game was only 55. So some of the monsters were, I mean, that was the absolute max, I think. Maybe they were slightly higher for some special occasions, but we want front. But now, since the level cap's like 62, and it's going up now when Chapter 4 comes out soon, they're going to... the high level players would easily farm this area and farm the bosses, and it helped them make tier 4 mana stones, which got them a good bit of money. I mean, if you, even players that could only play like an hour a day, which to me that's a lot even for me now. My playstyle, I can't support the playstyle I had even a year ago, but the mana stones, the tier 4 mana stones, brought in a good chunk of gold. And so through a little ingenuity, the high level players would go over to Savage Land Zone, and they'd do the public encounters to get some fusion stones, which were free from doing public encounter. Then they'd come here and farm Reichka, and they'd get some really nice purple drops, which was some pretty nice gear that was still popular at the time. And then they'd burn the mana stones onto the well, they'd either make a mana stone from the purple gear, because the purple gear came with stats, a couple stats on it, and they'd rip those stats off and make a mana stone with some nice stats, which anybody could use for anything they wanted. So it was valuable. But now, I think with the newer zones that came out, Limo Desert and going up into level 62, shoot, I don't think I can get to this place. I might have to hoof it. But now I think it's gotten harder, or that it's not really worth it anymore, because I think some of the higher level areas already give out these tier 4 mana stones rather easily, which basically made coming here kind of worthless now. But that's what happens when games progress, when games grow. New content comes out, higher levels are released, and and the highest level equipment suddenly becomes a bit obsolete, especially for players who are on the cutting edge of game content. I don't think this is going to happen. I'm getting too swamped by these guys to it would take me too long to walk my way up there, I think. See, here's some of these runes I was talking about that you can burn on, not burn, but you can put these into slots This is called quickness level 3, or tier 3 is what they call it. Well, this guy won't die. I just thought I had him. And you can upgrade these if you collect enough of them. Like this quickness tier 3. If I have 5 of these, I can take those 5, put them in my arcane transmuter here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I have enough charges, I hit confirm, and it'll go one, lights and flashes, and it'll turn into 1. Those 5 quickness 3 will turn into 1 quickness 4. So, and because it goes up a level or up a tier, the power of it will go up. Right now, if I added this to my equipment, I'd get +6 dexterity. But quickness 4 will offer more. It'll offer like +8 or +12, something like that. But we're closing in on the bottom of the hour here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that might be. Shoot, this is gonna be annoying. So there's the Ystra Labyrinth, which is sort of like a combination of a zone and an instance. You've got slightly harder than normal mobs for a regular zone, and they're more tightly packed, and there's more elites mixed in more regularly. There's a few different bosses, but like a zone, you can still find quests and even daily quests. You can find quite a selection of drops for daily quests for people of all different levels. Like I was gonna show just now, there's a high level quest that high level players can farm rune splinters or rune fragments, which they need for elite weapons. Now that is kind of a grind. It's sort of like, it's one of those deals where you need rune fragments to make rune splinters, to make something else, to finally make something else, and finally get your, and you just need increasingly larger amounts. I mean, literally, I think you need like thousands of rune splinters. So it is kind of a grind, but like I always say, it's one of those things that it's all a matter of pacing. Like whenever I go into anywhere, I don't care what level I am or what zone I am, whenever I go somewhere, I don't sit down and like I'm doing homework and try to calculate my efficiency versus my balance and that. I go in for fun first and foremost. If that means I had fun dying 3 times in 1 minute, because I thought it was funny the way the mob looked at me, then that's the most important thing about the game. That's just my opinion. I mean, there's other things that steer you. Like, whenever I go into a zone, I try to pace myself. A lot of people might race to level cap, and then they'll be like, "Wow, this is a real grind. I have to collect thousands of these," and I'm not gonna argue that. I mean, yeah, that's a lot of stuff. I mean, maybe it would be more fun to break that up a little bit, or to add some more variety to that kind of gameplay. But also, you could do the labyrinth throughout your entire game career, from your level 30 clear up to level 62, and while you're doing that, working your way up, doing your other stuff to get higher level and higher equipment, just keep stockpiling a few rune splinters here and there, And you know what? By the time you're level 62, you know, you might not even realize you have everything you need. And by that time, you'll be like, wow, I have all these. I hardly even remember collecting these. That's sort of my mentality going into some things. Now, I'm not saying that I don't think some things are a grind. Yes, it's a grind. This is a grind, but you know, it's just something to think about. I always have too much OCD. Like, it's hard for me to stick with any one thing for very long before I'm like, oh, a butterfly, you know, and I go off doing something else. Whatever strikes my fancy at the time, I guess, is what I do, you know. So if I'm in a dungeon instance, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, my guild members are like, whoa, we're having a little party at the guild leader's house, I'd probably just drop what I'm doing. even if I didn't kill the boss yet, I'd be like, whatever, he'll be here tomorrow. But okay, it's the bottom of the hour. So this was Jeremy Stratton for Massively.com, taking a look at Runes of Magic, and I'm going to sign off here. And I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for commenting, Bert, and I hope to see you next week. I'm going to take a look at some of the mini games. Runes of Magic has some interesting mini games that some of them scale to your level. They're good little mini games like the Course of Terror or Malatina's Dungeon. You can solo those. Jump in, doesn't matter what level you are. I think you have to be at least level 10 maybe. But it doesn't matter what level you are. And the dungeon, that little instance, will scale to your difficulty level based on your level. You know, and it's something fun to play. They cost 30 Furious tokens. You can do them once a day. Hopefully I don't suck so bad that I go through and die in all of them in 30 seconds, and then I have nothing for the rest of the hour. But yeah, so that's what I'll be doing next week. So, Jeremy for Massively, signing off. I was really hoping to get up to show you that anvil, because I like crafting. I should have invited somebody along. I think I'm gonna die. Man, he's... Yeah, this area was just... I mean, I'm only level 47 myself, so these were evenly matched, and even with